My name is Justin, and by a show of hands, how many of you guys have played either baseball or softball in your lifetime? Good, not you. Many people don't understand how hard being a pitcher is. If you guys have played, you guys sure know that being a pitcher is probably the toughest position. You guys usually show the outcome of the game, and usually the pitcher is on, then the team usually will do good from that. So let's put pitcher. And I played college baseball at offshore my freshman year, and I ended up getting hurt as a pitcher. So I tore a ligament in my elbow, and that's really the main reason I'm here. Luckily, I played 2 sports, so I'm able to switch to basketball, but I hurt myself pitching, and like myself, there was around 100,000 patients from the ages from 15 to 19 years old that also needed something called a Tommy John surgery pitching, which is definitely a large amount, and that was according to Rush.edu, and in the MLB, there was 40 pitchers that needed the Tommy John surgery as well. And also the Tommy John surgery is basically a surgery that it repairs the ligaments in your elbow. So I pitched, I heard a pop right in my elbow. So as soon as I got that would take about 2 years to fully recover. It says 12 to 16 months, but the whole process of the rehab, getting back on the field, probably about 2 years. So this would have been my first year playing if I ended up getting the surgery my freshman year. And even though I was one of those statistics, sometimes there's nothing you can do. So the amount of training that you guys do, you guys can exercise, you can train the right way, all the proper technique. Like sometimes it just happens. And in my case, I had some numerous trainers. You know, I had all like the perfect technique, so to say, and you know, I ended up still getting hurt. So sometimes there's nothing you can do. But I'm going to teach you guys the proper fundamental way to pitch and try and become a pitcher and try to avoid the injuries, as well as show some pitches to throw. So the first step that pitchers usually go through is a lot of cardio, and I brought this rubber band. So when you take the fields, usually like a lot of pitchers like to run around the field a couple of times, like around a mile or so. And I have this rubber band, so a couple stretches you go like that, except that, you go like that. If I had a pole, you basically strap it around the pole and you go here. And what this all does, it basically just loosens up all of your muscles, and you just keeps like the blood flowing and stuff like that. And as a pitcher, you basically start off and you have a catch, like short toss, and you work your way up to have a long toss, and this will all just loosen up your arm and all the muscles in your elbow and shoulder and stuff like that. And all right, so I'm going to demonstrate basically the proper way to pitch. All right, so pretend this is a mound. So you basically have 2 feet, 2 feet here. So here's the rubber. And your first step, I'm a righty, so the first step is back with your left. You don't want to be too far out because that would just open up a lot of like bad movements. So you kind of want to stay short and like compact to it. So with your left, back with your left, and you take your right leg and turn to the right, still in front of the rubber. You come up with your foot, toe pointed down. You want to stay behind the rubber because this will generate the most power. And you go down, and you come out, and you finish like that, and you're ready to field the ball. And basically with pitching, a lot of it comes from your legs. So a lot of people think you have a strong arm and stuff like that. You do, but it basically generates from all the core work and all your leg work that you do. So like squats and stuff, a lot of exercise will definitely help with pitching. And it all starts with just staying behind the rubber and using your legs to generate the most power to the catcher. And I brought this baseball, so I'm just going to show you guys a couple of pitches as a pitcher to throw. So here's the C. So this is the C. You take your pointer and your middle finger and your thumb like that. So when you're in your windup, and this will be the most rotation, like the most spin, which increases the velocity. So that's a fastball. And so here's the middle, so go like that, pointer your middle finger. It's a 2-seam fastball, so it has a little run to the right. Slider, so here's the ball, you take your middle finger here, put the most pressure on your middle finger here, and your pointer. Your thumb was on this seam, so when you come across, it comes here, and basically just slide that way. And then here's a 12 to 6 curveball. So it's the same thing, it's more like a U or a C, and you want to keep the little space in between your thumb and these 2 fingers. You come down on it, and you basically take your thumb and you're spinning it, which will create the 12 to 6 curveball, 12 to 6, and you drop down. Another pitch is a knuckleball, so it's basically the same as the 4-seam grip here. So if you take like your fingers like this and like that, and when you throw it, cut here like that, and you just have the knuckle and like that. So those are some pitches that pitchers do. Now you guys are ready to pitch and try to avoid some injuries while doing so. Thank you.